just basically spinning our wheels, barely breaking even each year.
And we weren't getting much for cotton in those days.
Cotton is one of the heaviest users of chemicals in all of production agriculture.
The chemicals just weren't working as well as what they were advertised to work.
I didn't like the idea of him being exposed to anything unnecessarily.
It goes back to the way we used to do things. It goes back to using just the natural products that we have. I want to make sure that I leave the land in good shape and that it will continue to produce crops to feed and clothe the world.
We used to always say that we need to clean up our own backyard first, and so that's why we think the USA organic cotton is important.
It's kind of a little bit interesting as I look back to see, how I got into organic or why I got into organic, because given those same circumstances today, I don't know if I would go out and take that risk. Several things were going on my farming operation in 1993. I'd been farming for about 10 or 12 years and had not really made very much profit at all. So the concern for the environment, the fact that chemicals weren't working like they really are labeled to or say they will work, and then you're just out that expense, and then the fact that the economics of the time were just not working well at all for conventional farming. So all those things came together, and I looked at it and said, we got to try this.
Texas Department of Agriculture began sort of a push for organic farming about that time, or at least that was the first I heard of it. It was the beginning of '93. Then they held a meeting in Lubbock that I went to, and there were quite a few growers there interested. Very few of them actually followed through. There was a meeting where we all got together, whoever was interested in, and we found out who each other was and how many there were of us, and it just made it better for the buyers and the sellers if we could form a cooperative, and then our cotton would be pooled together. The buyers could select from all of the cotton that was there.
I think it's vital for the Texas Organic Cotton Marketing Cooperative as a grower, because they're able to find the different markets for our products to go to, as well as find the other growers, people that might be interested in changing over to organic also.
The conventional farmer, he grows his crop, he carries his cotton to the gin, it gets mixed in with 100,000 other bales. He never knows where that cotton goes. As long as he gets paid for his cotton there at the gin, that's all he gets out of it, and he's done with it. As a member of the Texas Organic Cotton Marketing Cooperative, I know where a lot of my cotton goes, even to the fact that I can go into a store at a particular city, and I can find a t-shirt there that's made out of organic cotton, and I know that some of that cotton came from a marketing co-op, so some of it was my cotton.
This is prime location for organic. We have low insect pressure. We have timely freeze to defoliate our cotton. This allows us to have the largest concentration of organic acreage in the U.S. I think about 95 to maybe even 99% of the U.S. cotton is grown here within 150 miles of Lubbock.
Everything has its challenges, and organic cotton sometimes has different challenges than our conventional cotton. Organic, we have to build the soil profile with a lot of nutrients, because to have a high yielding crop, it needs nitrogen, it needs phosphorus, and the other elements. And so we have to go out to the natural ways of doing that, whether it's through planting a crop that we plow under as a green manure crop, or using compost. Those are great and they work well, but it doesn't sometimes meet the need that is there right away. They're a process that takes time. The other side is weed management. It's always a challenge to keep the weeds out, because weeds are competing for moisture, and so if you have a very weed infested farm, they're taking away the moisture that could be going to your crop. Because of the weeds, and we have to mechanically remove them, the challenge is a lot of times is labor.
Probably the primary difference in organic farming and conventional farming is labor. I have about 3,500 acres of organic production, and I've got 4 full-time employees. A conventional farmer with that same amount of acreage would probably have 1, maybe 2 employees. Cost is a little bit different story. Because I'm not using chemicals, I'm having to hire more labor, and that labor is paid to people in the local community. So those people are able to spend their dollars here in the local community and help the community grow. The conventional farmer has to pay a technology fee, high seed costs, and that money does not stay in the local community. When you take this technology, it drives people from the farms. There aren't people left here for the schools, for the hospitals, and all of a sudden you see that your communities are drying up and your communities begin to die. And that's what's happening all over the high plains of Texas. And the GMO events have really caused that to happen at an exponential rate.
I think the younger generation does seem to have a little bit more interest in the organic side of different products and foods and other things like that. So I think in the future that is going to be a market that stays around and hopefully grows.
In thinking about the future of the marketing co-op, you know, we've got a lot of opportunity to expand because the High Plains is ideally situated to grow organic cotton. But we've got to have the demand on the other end. The consumer has to want organic cotton. They have to want organic cotton grown in the U.S.
I think the future for the Texas organic cotton is strong. I think we've set up the system and processes to meet the growing demand. We're a group of farmers that are committed to growing a good crop, quality crop that the buyers want and need.
And sometimes I ask the question, you know, why does organic matter, or what's important about organic? Why am I an organic farmer? What's this all about? And it's really all about doing what is best for the environment, being the best steward of the land you can possibly be.
And it's an excitement to see your cotton in that end product. It's a pride and excitement that you grew that cotton and then you get to see the finished result.